So I guess it's my turn to say I have schizophrenia. So my name's Elyn and I'm a chaired professor of law and psychology at USC, as well as director of the Sachs Institute. I've gotten numerous honors in my life. I got a Marshall Scholarship to study at Oxford. I was on the Yale Law Journal as an editor, and I won the MacArthur Genius Grant. I'm also a woman with chronic schizophrenia. I've spent hundreds of days in psychiatric hospitals. I was given a prognosis of, quote, very poor and, quote, grave. In other words, I was expected to be unable to live independently, let alone to work. And that hasn't turned out to be my life. What is schizophrenia? Schizophrenia is a psychotic disorder that leads people to be out of touch with reality. So one will have delusions, like I've had the delusional belief that I've killed hundreds of thousands of people with my thoughts, or hallucination, a man is standing above me with a raised knife, or disorganized and incoherent speech and thinking. So I had a breakdown on the roof of the Yale Law School, and I said to my colleagues, are you having the same experience I am of the words jumping around the pages? I think someone's infiltrated my copy of the cases. We've got a case to joint. I don't believe in joints, but they do hold your body together. So words that are loosely associated, but put together make no sense. If I can make an analogy, a psychotic episode is like a waking nightmare with all the bizarre images, the impossible things happening, and the utter terror. So how on earth did I end up where I am in the face of that dire diagnosis and prognosis? I think three things helped me. First, I had wonderful treatment, 4 to 5 day a week psychoanalytic psychotherapy for decades and continuing. I've studied analysis. I know the theory is it's supposed to end, but I'm a lifer. I'm not willing to risk getting out of it. Also, excellent psychopharmacology. I struggled years and years trying to get off medication to prove I wasn't really ill, and now that I've been on it continuously, my life has gotten much better. Second, supportive and kind and wonderful family and friends. These relationships give my life a meaning and a depth, and they also serve as another set of eyes if I start slipping my friends and my husband may see first. Friendship has been extremely important to me, and romance has as well. When I got sick, I stopped dating. I basically went 18 years without dating, but I started feeling better and had my sights set on this guy, Will. And Will invited me to lunch, and then he invited me to see the poppies in Lancaster, and I kept saying I was cold, hoping he would put his arm around me. He never did, but at the end of the day, he kissed me a long, lingering kiss goodbye. And the thought I had, and this is really what went through my mind, was, this is even better than getting an article accepted. Sad, huh? And then the third thing is I've had an accommodating and supportive work environment. My place of work not only accommodates my needs, but they embrace my needs. And for me, when I'm working, that's my best defense against my mental illness. As I've said, my mind is both my best friend and my worst enemy. So after I got the MacArthur Grant, I decided, actually there's a funny story about the MacArthur Grant. So my law school gave me a reception, and they gave me a t-shirt that had a picture of Einstein and a picture of me, and it said only one of us is a certified genius. And I said, I've been certified many times in the past, but never in quite that way. Anyway, so I started the Sachs Institute for Mental Health Law Policy and Ethics, and we've discussed mechanical restraints, psychotropic meds in the law, criminalization of mental illness, people ending up in jails and prisons instead of getting care, mental health disorders in college and university students. This year we're studying mental health stigma in the media, and we have plans for future studies on supported decision-making and solitary confinement among mentally ill inmates, ethical dimensions of psychiatric research, kids and mental health. I mean, there's just a whole slew of issues that need addressing, and we are addressing them. So I've not only had severe mental illness, I've had several physical health illnesses that were quite severe. And a friend of mine, a neurologist, said, Elyn, for an unlucky person, you're very lucky. And I think he was right. I consider myself very fortunate. Talked about having resources. My family had the resources to get me care, and I've been very fortunate in that way.